Enough is enough. If y'all let anything happen to this great African president, I guarantee y'all will feel our energy all around this world. And I'm speaking from the U.S. Y'all need to worry about Mega, because America ain't never been great to my people. Why y'all over there messing with Africa when we got problems right here at home? Why y'all trying to do him like Gaddafi? Y'all hate when my people stand up for their people and they actually support the people. Are y'all mad because he's giving his citizens free health care, free education, when y'all would never do that in America? I cannot stand these colonizers, man. Real talk. I love a strong African leader. Somebody that actually stand with his people or go to war with them, dress like them, work out with them. Look at our president. Look what he built like. Look where his mindset is. That's why they can't even control America, and y'all get mad every time one of my people do something great. If y'all let anything happen to this man, I guarantee you, y'all gonna feel an energy and a rage like never before. Real talk, man. No, what's up with these Uncle Tom generals, 4-star generals, whatever you want to be? But I guarantee you, that general wouldn't want to look at me one-on-one in the ring. Real talk, man. If anybody, man, repost this until the whole world know about it. So if anything happened to them, we can go ahead and go up in an uproar and give these people what they really want. The time is coming, and Babylon will fall.
Keep your eyes on Burkina Faso. I've been saying this for the last couple of years. The US is very clearly setting their sights on Traore, keeping his name in their mouth and making up false allegations that he is keeping all the gold for himself. I'm sorry, he is taking care of his people, he's nationalizing resources, and he just made education completely free in Burkina Faso. Compare this to America, where they're now going to restart wage garnishment for student loans. So if a corrupt leader is one who keeps all the gold for themselves, what do we call America at any point in history? Unsurprisingly, my Burkina Faso content gets all but ignored on TikTok, while on Xiaohongshu, because in China it is standard education to learn about the liberation of Angola and Burkina Faso. People actually know about Burkina Faso political history and care about it. And I will be making more content calling out the hypocrisy of mainly American users on TikTok.
Back to my YouTube channel once more. US, France are planning to arrest our own son, Ibrahim Traore. As we all know that Ibrahim Traore is the youngest president of Burkina Faso, and he also has a stand of standing with this Africa and defending his people. And US has planned it, has tried to assassinate him, but has failed. Has tried anything but has failed. They has now started planning lies towards our own son. Let's watch this video until the end. Then I'll come back with more comment.
To focus on a very interesting thing that's busy happening in Africa. You might agree with this, you might disagree with this, but here we go. President Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso is changing the economical, the political and the social landscape of his country in a major way. Now we know that he came into power through a military coup that took place towards the end of 2022. Now, if you look at his background, he did not have any formal political training or experience before coming into power. He's a military man, all right? He's part of the military. But what he is doing at this moment in time is sending shock waves throughout the political world. And it seems like at this moment in time, he's becoming the center of Africa's economic transformation. Now, what am I speaking about? His actions are seen to be quite controversial, and therefore there's a lot of people criticizing him at this moment, and there's a lot of people praising him. If you take a closer look at what he has done, especially the last 2 years, let me give you a couple of things that happened in that country. Number one, the government suspended France 24, which is a French news channel, accusing it of broadcasting false reports that undermined the national security of the country. There has also been broader restrictions placed on foreign media outlets, especially Western media outlets, needless to say, those who are critical towards the country, stating that Burkina Faso needs its privacy. Now, if you look at, for example, the steps that he has taken or is taking at this moment in time to distance himself from former colonial powers, like, for example, France, that's why they kicked the French military out of the country. They literally came and said, you have to leave. You can't be here any longer. In the last 2 years, he has implemented several significant economic reforms since taking office. For example, he nationalized some of the gold mines, halting the export of unrefined gold to Europe and planning to withdraw certain mining permits from foreign companies. He wants to bring it in-house. He established local processing industries. He is very strong on enhancing agricultural support initiatives. In other words, to begin to produce their own food and to grow in the production of their own food. He is initiating agricultural modernization and has distributed 400 tractors, about 239 tillers, hundreds of motor pumps, etc., all in an effort to raise the production level of their crops. When it comes to financial reform, what he has done, he has reduced the salaries for ministers and parliamentaries by 30%, while increasing civil servant salaries by roughly 50%. And we can see him coming majorly against government corruption, or it seems to be the case at this moment in time. He also started paying off local debts and launched the Postal Bank of Burkina Faso with a capital of about roughly $25 million. Why? To improve the country's banking system. Because you can see that he is standing very firmly against the IMF and the World Bank. He's literally working towards getting Burkina Faso to stand on its own feet. There are significant investments that are being made in the infrastructure sector, including the construction of new roads, the expansion of existing ones, and upgrading gravel roads to tar. They're also busy with a brand new airport, which at this moment in time is under construction. So we can see that President Traore is focusing on expanding his country's self-reliance and industrial strength. And by doing so, in the process, he is defying the global financial institutions. And it seems to be widening the divide between Africa and the West. Now we know that Africa is one of the richest continents when it comes to natural resources. About 60% of the world's agricultural land is in Africa, yet Africa has remained poor. And there are several contributing factors towards that, all right? But some of it is lack of leadership, lack of skill, corruption in the governments, and an inability to utilize their own resources. So where this is going to go, we have to wait and see. But it does seem like he is rewriting Africa's governance. And can this become the blueprint for African governance in the future? Will other African countries follow his example? How long will this transformation last? And is it really sincere? Or will corruption come into this whole equation? Let's see. Please feel free to share your thoughts and comments, but let's keep the conversation respectful and constructive. Let's focus on meaningful dialogue without insulting or using offensive language against Africa and the West. Let's keep it civilized. Let's comment.
Burkina Faso was formerly colonized by France and has an abundance of gold in natural resources. Traore pushed out Western influence, including the mine owners, who are French mine owners in Burkina Faso. France wanted to reestablish relations with Burkina Faso, and if you've seen Macron giving a pretty ridiculous speech trying to say one day they'll thank us for helping them, no, they just wanted you to leave them alone. Anyway, Traore said that in order to reestablish relations with France, that France is going to have to return all of the gold that they have stolen from Burkina Faso's mines, and all of this gold that they have is sitting in reserves in France. France is trying to say that that gold is theirs. It comes from mines in France. There are no gold mines in France. So now the US is getting involved. And we can all guess what those claims are going to be. Now we're seeing the claim, oh, he's stealing all the gold for himself and he's not helping his people. The next they're going to be like, we need to bring democracy to Burkina Faso, like those typical things that the US says in order to manufacture consent for invasion and ultimately backing a coup, which I'm sure they have already tried. Them, France, and anybody else who benefits from the gold exploitation of African nations, which includes those fake Muslim countries like the UAE, Hopefully I don't get in trouble for saying that. But there's a reason why a lot of these nations are not coming to the aid of Palestinians and are also thriving off of the exploitation of natural resources from nations in Africa. Anyway, I'm hoping this gets picked up by American TikTok, but we'll see. And as we go along, you're probably going to hear a lot of comparisons of Thomas Sankara to Ibrahim Traore. Sankara was a leader almost exactly like Traore around 1970s in Burkina Faso. I have one of his speeches pinned on my profile. I'm going to make a part 2 sharing what I know about Sankara because I understand this is 2 minutes and that might be a little bit too long for people's attention spans.
France occupied Burkina Faso for generations. They stole gold and uranium, billions of dollars of resources for pennies on the dollar, while the people of Burkina Faso suffered. But Burkina Faso's new revolutionary leader, Captain Ibrahim Traore, says no more. Traore has kicked out all of the French troops from his country in Africa. He has banned exports of gold to Paris, and he has dropped French as the official language of Burkina Faso. It's a total cultural, political, and economic reset. Now, obviously, French President Emmanuel Macron is kind of upset with all of this. He has made his position known. And President Traore beautifully responded. He said, if anyone is ungrateful, it is him, Emmanuel Macron. France exists today thanks to our ancestors. They should pray for us. And Burkina Faso is making it clear that this is not about some attack on France. This is about independence and sovereignty. Just last week, Burkina Faso's President Traore decided to release 4 French spies who were guilty of attempting to commit a coup against the president, Captain Ibrahim Traore, in 2022. The message is clear. Burkina Faso is not the pawn of France or the Dutch or the United States anymore, but forgiveness is also at the heart of their revolution. Traore says that this is not just a split, it is a revolution with global ripples. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yo, what is this I'm hearing about how France and the US want to arrest Ibrahim Traore? Are you taking the piss? Like this man didn't kick France out of his country. Like this man didn't open up 2 tomato processing plants. Like this man didn't make medical health care free for all, no matter what your status is. And recently, over the last couple of days, made education free up until uni. And the dirty, stinking colonizers want to arrest him. Are we supposed to act like France didn't have its hands around Burkina Faso's throat for how long? And now we have a leader who's doing what no bumperclot cowardice African leader has done. And you want to arrest him on what charges? Listen, as a black people, if there's one thing we can all unite around the globe, it's because of this man, you understand? And he needs to be protected all costs, spiritually, physically, mentally. He needs to be protected by every single one of us. They already tried to take his life 19 times, yeah? And it's clearly going up. So I suggest you start praying for this man, praying for his life, praying for his family, praying for his country. And to all of you cowardice African leaders, yeah, if they try and step to Traore, you need to prove yourselves and try and protect him. Send military, send resources, send everything you can to make sure that he protects his country. That's what you should do. But we know how it goes already with you African leaders. You rather fatten up your pockets rather than look after your people. Some of you don't even deserve to be leaders, because if you're not even putting your life on the line for your people, for your country, what the hell are you doing trying to run it? You see how Ibrahim done it? And it only took him 18 bumperclot months. Yeah? And some of you have been leaders for over 20 years. Your people should spit in your face for the way you leaders left them high and dry and living in poverty and fattening up the pockets of the West. So come on, cowards. Show us what the heart of a lion is. Show us if you can live up to Ibrahim. Show us that you can rise to the occasion. Give us something, anything to be proud of.
I think I know how we as Africans can help Ibrahim Traore and ensure that this is not just another one of the great leaders we've had try to start something and end, because we all want what he's doing. We all want that for all our countries. We all want to see a better world for ourselves here in Africa, in every country in Africa. So here's the thing. I spent most of my time looking at human behaviors, studying human behavior and how they associated with the different aspects of the matrix brought to play. When I say different aspects of the matrix, I mean social media, and by social media I mean media, television and all that, school and society and religion. I take most of my time to figure that out because I feel like that's what we all need to be focusing on if we need to create a different world for ourselves. Now, why is this important? Every time we have a leader in Africa who is actually making tremendous change in their country, there are always a couple of mishaps here and there, or misunderstanding, or like miscommunications that go down. What do I mean by this? The US and France are currently trying to take down Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, and we all know they cannot just get in there and just all over, because why? There's this thing they created after the World War. I'm sorry, I forgot the name. Now they need to have a logical reason to infringe the rights of another country without the international getting involved. Now they look for one and they play us. Number one, we always hear the narrative that an African country cannot manage its resources. It needs help to manage its resources. My South African sisters, y'all are very too familiar with this statement being thrown around, because the apartheid and the white people in your country do say that a lot, that they're there because you people need help managing your finances, which you do not. Okay, now that's the first thing they're gonna do. They're gonna say there are resources that are being misused and we need help doing it. Number two, they're gonna turn him into a terrorist. They're gonna tell us how he's evil, how he's killing, he's shooting schools, and they might actually go an extra extent of putting people in that country to do those things so that that news can at least look realistic. They need to divide and conquer. So they're gonna divide the people and the leader and the rest of the world. So now you very privileged white people are gonna be sitting at home saying, oh my god, I need so much help, forgetting that y'all are having at home. But back to my point, these are two of the tactics they use. The number three, if they do not succeed to do that, they will directly go for him. Now, how do I think we can change this? You see, we're in it's a new day, it's a new dawn, it's a new era. A lot of you are spiritual. I need every spiritual babes out there or man to give Ibrahim Traore just one layer of protection. And I know you know what I mean by that. If you protect your energy, I know you know what I mean by that. Everyone, just give him one layer of protection, and I believe we will avoid option number three, where they will try to kill him in a car crash or a plane crash or everything else they do. Now we have two options in our way that we do not know how to get away, or you do not know, because I don't. Now I'm gonna tell you. Here's what we have to do. We have to get loud. We have to get loud. We have to go on every possible social media and put out the information that Ibrahim Traore is a tremendous leader. He is doing such good work, and the only people who want him down are people who want to bring back slavery. And I know that sounds like very huge language, but it is very necessary. Because you need to understand, once they cannot do it diplomatically, they will do it as the savages they are. And they will try and turn us into slaves again. Understood? We have two simple assignments. Get loud on every social media platform ever. Ensure eyes, ears, everything. We look at them. We make sure they know we are looking. Everyone has to have their eyes on them. Okay? And we need everyone who's inside Burkina Faso to start putting out photos and videos of the good work he's doing. We need to put out this into the press, into everywhere. Like, it has to be everywhere, that even when they try to start that propaganda, we can retaliate. Why do I say we? Because, see, whatever is happening in Congo right now and in Burkina Faso could happen to all of us. Because each and every country in Africa has something that they offer. And in the tariff wars, you have seen they have done everything except mention where they actually get the raw materials for their things. It means one thing and one thing only. All these continents disagree on everything but agree on one thing, and that's the subjugation of Africa.
So do you know about this? Have you heard of President Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso? All right, young man, been in power 2 years now, president of Burkina Faso. He's a military guy, captain. And I don't know if you know about this, but there's been about 18 assassination attempts on his life. And he came into power at a very strategic time in the history of Burkina Faso, a lot of difficulty, instability. And he's done quite a few amazing things in his 2 years, even though they've tried to assassinate him so many times. If you go and look what he is trying to do in terms of key reforms aimed at stabilizing his nation, he has built schools, hospitals, roads, developed agriculture, donating a lot of tractors and equipment for agricultural development so they can produce their own food. They have stopped exporting raw materials. They are trying to process gold themselves, hospitals, all those kind of things. You know, there's a lot of things, even airport, right? And so there's a lot of development that's going into Burkina Faso at this moment in time. And I'm sitting and I'm looking at this whole thing. Now, I'm not saying I agree with everything he is doing, all right? I'm also not saying that everything he's doing is bad. I think any president that is building schools, working on education, all right? Any president that is bettering the health care of their people, that's trying to help their people to become more self-sustainable, less reliant on imports, etc., increase production in the country, factories, job creation, etc. I think that is a praiseworthy president. And so the interesting thing is, when it comes to Africa, and you go and look at the history of the last 20 years of Africa, and presidents that have been removed either through a military coup and or assassinated and or removed weird circumstances or committed suicide, you know. A lot of those, or let me rephrase that, some of them were corrupt, all right? All of them were not good. But there were a number of them whose heart was really to better their country. But they have something in common, and that is that they went against the global establishment, if I can put it like that. And I'm not going to define that, go into details, right? I think you know what I'm talking about. And so a lot of them just suddenly left this earth in sometimes a very bizarre way. So I'm looking at President Ibrahim Traore, and I'm not saying, again, I'm agreeing with everything he's doing, especially with some of his alliances, some of the other leaders in Africa that he's endorsing. Some of them are questionable, all right? But it is very clear that he's got a heart for his people and for his nation.
Welcome back. Hope you have watched that video very well. Ibrahim Traore is the president of Burkina Faso. Ibrahim Traore is the youngest president in the world. Ibrahim Traore is now the leading president in terms of development in Africa. And do you know what? US government and France are planning to arrest our own president. These things has really hurted me, we as African. How comes they have tried several attempts to assassinate him, but all have failed. They have now started planting lies towards Ibrahim Traore because of his stand. They are planning to use what they used to kill Muhammad Gaddafi, Mugabe. They are now planning to our own son. And we know that Ibrahim Traore is doing very good work at Burkina Faso. When you visit to Burkina Faso, they are now on the map. Ibrahim Traore welcomed all black Americans to country after they were chased away by these Western countries. Ibrahim Traore, they stopped exporting its resources, natural resources, outside the Burkina Faso. And he said that the resources of Burkina Faso belongs to people of Burkina Faso. But guess what? These people has now planted with a lot of lies towards Ibrahim Traore. They are saying that Ibrahim Traore is using natural resources like coal to benefit himself and his family, which is lies. He's saying that Ibrahim Traore is not a military. He is a gang, which is lie. So it's high time African people, African leaders, Caribbean, all black people to stand with this guy, because they are planning to arrest him because of his stand. He has really defended this country. He has made sure that no any resources left Burkina Faso. The resources belongs to people of Burkina Faso. So this kind of lies that's being planted towards Ibrahim Traore, we must condemn it. We must protect it. They have tried several attempts to assassinate our son because of the stand that he has. These people have used us. They are using our leader as a puppet. But it's high time these leaders stand with our own son, our own youngest son. He is only 35 years old, but he is being fought by the machinery of his leadership. When you visit now Burkina Faso has good leadership. He's really making progress. Healthcare is really working. Roads have been constructed. They have really tried, but they have now failed all attempts. Also, the only one they are planning is to arrest him, which is not. We will end. Don't dare to arrest Ibrahim Traore. Let me tell you the truth. Don't dare to arrest Ibrahim Traore. He's our leader. He's our Africans. You are black Americans. Must stand solidarity. We have such things happened later. They arrested Muhammad Gaddafi and we were silent. They arrested Mugabe, we were silent. Now they want to kill our own son, which is the youngest president. We cannot allow that to continue. We must wake up. We must stand with our own Ibrahim. We cannot allow this thing to happen. Thank you so much once more for watching my video, and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channels. Team Tessie Reaction is my name. Make sure you subscribe, you share, and like it. Make sure you comment it. Thank you so much. I'll come back with more updates, and don't miss any update when I post in this channel. Thank you so much, and may God bless you.